I faked my own death on social media to see who would attend my funeral. What I discovered destroyed me last month. I hacked my own Facebook account and posted that I died in a car accident. I wanted to see which of my 800 plus friends actually cared. Yesterday, I sat in the back row of my own funeral and discovered my boyfriend of 3 years was celebrating my death with the girl he'd been secretly seeing. It started as a stupid experiment after my 26th birthday party. Only 5 people showed up despite dozens of RSVPs. I'd spent weeks planning, dropped $500 on food and drinks, and ended up alone with a fridge full of untouched appetizers and a crushing realization. Maybe nobody actually cared about me. People would care if you were dead, my roommate. Jess joked as we threw away uneaten cupsia. Death makes everyone sentimental, that comment planted a seed. How many of my hundreds of online connections would actually mourn me? Who would show genuine grief versus posting performative sadness for likes? I created a detailed plan. First, I told my parents and brother what I was doing so they wouldn't panic. They thought it was bizarre but agreed to play along after I explained how isolated I'd been feeling. Then I asked my cousin Emma, who works at a funeral home, to help arrange a fake service. Using an old photo, I created a convincing obituary. My roommate hacked my Facebook account and posted the tragic news. With deepest sorrow, we announced that Melissa Carter passed away yesterday in a tragic accident. Queries about services will follow. The response was immediate. My profile flooded with shocked comments and crying homage. People I hadn't spoken to since high school wrote paragraphs about our special bond. Coworkers I barely knew claimed I was like family. The notifications were overwhelming. Emma helped set up a memorial service at her funeral home. Nothing elaborate, just a guest book, my photo, and some flowers. We announced it would be a brief viewing followed by a private family burial. Yesterday, wearing a dark wig and glasses, I slipped into the back row of my own funeral. 63 people showed up. Some were genuinely crying. Others were taking giddy next to my photo. My high school bully was there, tearfully telling everyone how she'd always protected me from mean girls. Then Ryan walked in, my boyfriend of 3 years, the man who had texted that he was too devastated to talk when he heard the news. He wasn't alone. A blonde woman I'd never seen before held his hand, wearing a dress that was definitely not funeral appropriate. They signed the guest book together. As they moved toward my photo, I heard him whisper, "Thank God we don't have to sneak around anymore." She giggled and replied, "I know it's awful, but this makes everything so much easier." I watched as Ryan introduced her to my friends as someone he'd been seeing. No one seemed surprised. They all knew. When my college roommate hugged him and said, "Melissa never suspected anything, right?" I nearly threw up. I slipped out before anyone recognized me and sat in my car sobbing for an hour. My phone kept buzzing with Instagram notifications, people posting photos from my funeral with heartbroken captions and "Rip Melissa Ye Ray." This morning I ended the charade. He posted a video explaining what I'd done and why I tagged everyone who attended, including Ryan and his girlfriend. I showed Sparent of the most hypocritical posts next to years of ignored messages and canceled plans. My inbox is exploding with people calling me psychotic, manipulative, and attention-seeking. Ryan claims I've ruined his life. My friends say I betrayed their trust. Maybe they're right. Maybe this experiment reveals more about my issues than theirs. But watching people grieve a version of me they never actually cared about while I sat there alive and still invisible showed me something important. I need to build connections with people who see me before I am gone. I deleted all social media except this account. Tomorrow I am moving to Portland, where my brother lives. Nobody there knows me. Nobody there has mourned me yet.